Woo! Good morning, afternoon, evening. It's 7:33. I'm not going to wait for any other special time. I just had to quick run and take the phone off the hook in the other room because my daughter usually calls me sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, most mornings lately. And she's going to be living here tonight with her family, my son-in-law and three children, grandchildren. So it's going to be a different house tomorrow morning, and I'm getting this video done now because I have to help move today. We're going to take at least two loads, one to my place and one to the storage, and a lot of work. And then tonight I'm going to go hear my son play at the Kilted Mermaid. So it's going to be a really long and busy day, and I won't get finished until I won't get home tonight after the thing till between 1 and 1:30. That's normal. Anyway, interesting morning so far. I've been up since, awake since a little bit before 4 o'clock. I got out of bed a little after 4, posted my videos on video with Aristo from yesterday on Facebook, both my page and my wall. Of course, it went up automatically at midnight, my time. Because that's how I schedule it when I remember. Anyway, keeping up appearances. That's the title that I've chosen for today, and here's the blurb. Not very long ago, I took a picture of myself in a tie and jacket with my hair pulled back in a ponytail. It's posted on Facebook. This was not something I would have done on my own, especially with all that I have to do today. However, I received an email that said, quote, "These pictures, as shown in the email, are what they want and need them in a hurry!" Exclamation point. Suit and tie and jacket look for the men, hair short and well shaven. End quote. How dare anyone tell me that I had to cut my hair and shave my beard? I contacted the sender for clarification and was told it was okay to tie my hair back and make sure my beard was trimmed. Okay. For a good cause, I was willing to do that. However, I really hope we can get beyond this idea of keeping up appearances and having a proper image. Who the hell knows what a proper image is anyway? It's just someone's opinion. There was a program when I used to watch TV, and it was a British comedy called Keeping Up Appearances, and it starred a lady who I don't know what her name was, but in the program, she was called Hyacinth. And Hyacinth Bouquet, spelled Bucket, which in my English would be pronounced bucket. But she wanted it to sound more elegant, and so she pronounced it bouquet. You know, made the French sounds to it. And she was all about keeping up appearances, and the extent to which she would go to try to impress people was hilarious. I mean, to me, it was one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen, and I used to watch it on public broadcasting back in the early 90s. I haven't had a television hooked up in my home since the early 90s, so it couldn't have been any later than that. Because I just simply haven't had a TV hooked up. Now, people are asking me, I posted on Facebook, what's the cause? Or no, I don't have to go to court. And I can't go into a lot of detail. But I've been involved in a project to help people that are underprivileged people. And we're about ready, maybe, to make it public. And so they want a picture of us that's distinguished looking. Here we're helping the less fortunate. And we have to have a proper image for public relations, So they wanted us to look distinguished. Well, I don't think I look undistinguished with my hair hanging down. I could let it down right now like this. See? All right, that's not so undistinguished looking to me. But some people have an idea, and I have friends that tell me all the time, Ron, you look so much younger with your hair short. Even when it's in a ponytail, you look so much younger. It takes 10 years off your appearance. It's keeping up appearances. You know, long hair helps us psychically, according to some of the things that I've read. Native American scouts in the Second World War, if they got haircuts, they lost their psychic ability to pick up the elements and receive the transmissions, because these are antenna. This is antenna, remember? To pick up the transmissions of the things around them, so they were not as effective when they got their hair cut off. So they made an exception in the U.S. Army and Marines for Native American scouts. They could have long hair. Why? Because it worked. Just purely pragmatic for the military-industrial complex. And the military-industrial complex and the corporate world are the ones that sell us on image. In fact, the religions sell us on image. Everything in our world is about image. What does it look like? Well, you know, I get trapped in that myself when I stop and think of it. There are, for example, in relationships, if I don't like the way the person looks, it's certainly not going to turn into a romantic relationship, because I have an image of what I'm looking for that to me is beauty that turns me on. And I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't turn me on. What's the point? I love passion. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I like that. I may not ever be in a relationship because I have this image thing in my mind of what my partner is supposed to look like. So we all do it. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but I would like to be able, in most things in my life at least, to get beyond the image orientation of everything. For example, say extraterrestrials start interacting with us on a more physical level, on a level that we can see. Now, suppose these beings from these other planets don't look like us. Are we going to judge them because of their image? Are we going to make them put on a mask? We live in a culture that has long put on masks. We've long developed a persona, an image, to focus, this is me, this is me. Well, I have many images. I started out doing this video with a ponytail that looked like I had short hair. Now you see, I don't have short hair. Which image is the correct one? Some people like this. Other people like it like this. Which is the proper image? I obviously took my jacket, my shirt and tie and jacket off. And of course, I didn't have anything but underpants on underneath that, but who knows that? Now everybody does, of course. So was it a proper image? It depends on how much you were willing to look at, or I was willing to show. But now I put on a bathrobe. Now, when I'm running around my house, most of the time in the warmer weather, I'm in my underwear. That's it. I mean, why should I bother putting on clothes when I'm here all by myself? Well, tonight I'm not going to be here by myself anymore. So I may not be able to run around in my underwear. Of course, I can close the door, and I can still have this end of the house, these 2 rooms, or 3 rooms counting the bathroom. I can still have these rooms to myself. And I can lock the door so that they can't get in from the outside. Yeah, it's going to give me privacy. But I have to be aware of how I present myself when I go into the kitchen or into the meeting room, which used to be, well, it used to be called a meeting room. Now it's called a family room. Totally different. We're going to have a Christmas tree. All for appearances. I've never had a Christmas tree put up in this house since I've lived here, 2005. I haven't had a Christmas tree. I haven't had a Christmas tree in my home since my kids were little. And why? No need for it. I don't go to any major thing of decorating anything for the holidays. To me, one day is the same as another. Now, I got to admit, I do like to have a nice holiday meal every now and again. I thought I was going to have one this year, but my daughter informed me yesterday that they're going to be spending Thanksgiving with with her father-in-law and her husband's family, which is wonderful. I'm glad they're going to do that. Um, I was thinking that I was going to take them out, but they've accepted his invitation and they need to do that. So it's all good. But I get back to this keeping up appearances bit. Why do we think that someone with a tie and jacket is more respectable than someone in a t-shirt and jeans? Why do we think that someone with short hair is more respectable for a man than someone with long hair? Where do we get these ideas from? They are cultural in many respects, because of course Native Americans and many indigenous people, they don't get haircuts. Their hair is long, men and women. You know, why would they do that? And many cultures grow beards, and a beard is a sign of dignity and respectability in some cultures. In other cultures, you're supposed to be clean shaven. Who gets these? Who develops these ideas? You know, we all have them. We all have preferences, and I'm certainly in favor of maintaining preferences. I keep them myself, as I said a little bit ago. I have preferences, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. And some people that hurts because they don't like that I have a preference for certain body types and stuff like that. And I have a preference for women. You know, as my homosexual friend Jack Nichols said one time, that Ron is hopelessly heterosexual. Yeah, I am. I can't imagine making love to a man. I can't imagine it. Now, does that mean that I would deprive someone else if that's their cup of tea from doing it? No, each person, as God told me once, you don't know enough, Ron, to judge another, and if you did, you wouldn't. So it's not an issue for me anymore, like it was when I was still in my fundamentalist Christian mindset. Even after I wasn't a fundamentalist Christian anymore, I still maintained that mindset till Jack Nichols broke me of it. And I appreciate he's deceased now, but he became a good friend. And you know, the truth of the matter is, a lot of my male friendships, my best male friendships, have been with men that tended to be a little bit effeminate. Some of them gay, some of them not gay, but certainly on the artistic side, because those were men that were in touch with their feelings. And I can relate to men that are in touch with their feelings. I have trouble relating to a man or a woman, that's not in touch with their feelings. I want somebody that, when you ask, how do you feel? Or how are you? They can tell you how they feel. A lot of people are clueless how they feel. That's why we do the workshops with Margie and our friends, to get people to be in touch with their feelings and to understand and separate between what I think, what I feel, and what I see. And what we see oftentimes determines what we feel, but also what we think about it. The judgments that we put on it determines how we feel. And when we learn to separate these things so that we can have more clarification in how we function as human beings, or as a human being, I think that's valuable and really important. And yet I've had times, this comes to mind, when I felt a strange attraction to someone that didn't fit my mold. I thought, where's this coming from? I call it soul recognition. That's my definition. Is it the soul recognition? I don't know. It's the excuse I use and why I would feel such a strong draw toward an individual that I wouldn't necessarily feel a sexual attraction to, but sometimes it feels somewhat sexual. I don't act on it, but it's there. And I don't act on sexual things very much. And that's because of where I am in my life right now. And I don't know when that's going to change or even if it's going to change. Sometimes I think I'm going to end up being alone for the rest of my life. But I was willing this morning to go and trim my beard a little bit more and trim around my ears and the hairs and shave a little bit, and get some of the hair off the back of my neck. And I was willing to make myself look more presentable so that my picture can be properly imaged and I won't look like some hippie freak to people that are still straight-laced and narrow-minded. Excuse me. I will look more respectable to them, at least until they get to see me in the flesh, and then, well, not totally in the flesh, you know what I'm saying? But, face to face. That's what I meant by in the flesh. Very few people get to see me in the flesh. I've never been a stripper. Oh, God, where this thing is going. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, and I've shared enough, and I do hope that some of the programs that I'm involved in and some of the programs that other people are involved in to help the people that have been less fortunate in our world, I do hope that some of these things materialize and take root, and I'm more than willing to do what I can do as long as I don't feel too controlled and too bossed around. I'm willing to make some compromises, like put my hair in a ponytail. And I do that sometimes naturally when nobody's requesting it anyway, just because it, I don't like it to get in my mouth and stuff like that. Anyway, I hope I've put a few smiles on your face and given you something to think about. And I thank you for listening. And this is the video for the 24th of November. And by the way, 2 days ago, it was JFK's assassination day. He was probably the last president that we've had that tried to do the right thing, and they killed him for it. Just a passing thought. Again, thank you for listening. Namaste.